Hello and welcome to Sanna Nyx. I'm Sanna. Thank you so much for clicking onto this video. And welcome back if you have seen my previous video. In this video I will be showing what I've been up to during day 2 through 9 and the process of making Nyxoria into my forever island in Animal Crossing New Horizons. Day 2 started with having a house. This day even provided me with some oranges. So after doing some of the daily tasks, I planted them. I just hope that I will find a way to get all of the fruits. I wish that you could obtain every fruit just by yourself, because you get a fair amount of miles when planting them. But I managed to get some miles on the day before, so I thought it would be a great idea to get the tool ring. And as it says, it is essential. I sometimes wish that you could attach a few more items to it, a couple maybe, since I like to carry most of the tools with me at all times. But I will just have to deal with the fact that I can't get to everything simply by opening up the tool ring. I crafted some tools and started organizing the tool ring. It seems that I put a lot of thought into where on the wheel I wanted the different tools. But truth be told, that I don't care at all. So I don't really know what I was doing here or why I was taking such a long time. The one thing that's always in the same spot might be the slingshot, but I can't say why. I'm just so glad that you can get the tool ring this early. It is such a quality of life aspect in the game. Despite that, you will probably see me opening up the inventory to get to my tools. Afterwards, I decided to get to the undiscovered parts of the island to dig up fossils for Blather's collection. I was very pleased to see that I got mums as my island's native flower, even though I hoped for hyacinths, because they're my favorite. On this day, I decided to use my first Nook Mile ticket. And while on the Mystery Island, I actually saw a villager. And to my surprise, that villager was Rodeo. And I think he's a pretty good fit for the island that I'm aiming to create. Therefore, I invited him to live on Nyxoria. Before I went home, I gathered some more materials and brought some coconuts, which I planted immediately. Later on, I am going to plant a lot more of the coconuts, but as of right now, I decided that 2 of them were just the right amount and just enough for now. On this day, I met Gulliver. I suppose that he shows up on day 2 every time you play the game. I don't really know, correct me if I'm wrong. Either way, I helped him by gathering the communicator parts so that he could get back to his crew and out onto the sea again. One funny thing about this bird is when you meet Gulliver for the first time, it actually says Gulliver at the beginning. Before I felt that I had done enough on day 2, I bought a sweater and used my miles to get a pocket organizer. It's always so satisfying seeing the inventory get bigger every time you restart the game. Once you're used to having the maximum inventory, it's awful to have the small one in the beginning. But I will always feel a little bit greedy anyway, because I find myself wanting even more inventory to use. That's pretty much everything for day 2. I started day 3 by changing clothes and just got on to do the daily routine and focused on getting all the critters to move Blathers out of that tent. And I also got, or tried to get, all of the necessary materials for the shop. Here you can see me trying to get that mole cricket, and I finally caught one. Funny thing is that I've never actually caught one of these before. I didn't really know how to, and then I learned you just had to listen for the noise to get louder and then dig some holes. And with that, I went to Blathers to give him all the critters that I found, and finally I got him enough so that he could build himself that museum. And I even brought the necessary materials for Nook's Cranny. And finally the shop is also under construction. Even though you can decorate around the shop just as well as around the museum, as I mentioned in the previous video, I always find it easier just to put the shop on the beach along with the villager houses. I just want to plan the layout, where to place the shop, and often nearby the tailor's shop to create a little shopping district. One important thing not to miss out on is of course the money tree. I think it's very important this early in the game. It's a great way to get some bells. By then, all my duties for that day were all taken care of. By day 4, I did the daily routine, my daily tasks, and I even helped Gulliver again. As you can see, the trees are placed a bit different now. Usually I organize the trees by cutting them down and keeping around 20 ordinary trees, just to make the process of shaking them and getting all of the stuff from them a little bit easier. I did not record that process because it is just as entertaining as watching me picking weeds. Now I am checking out Nook's Cranny for the first time. And as always, Mabel is visiting and discussing the need for clothing on the island. I decided to buy the wetsuit so that I could go out into the sea and dive for sea creatures. And then I also bought some red and white roses and some DIYs. Here I am planting and watering the roses in hopes of crossbreeding for pink roses. If there's a better method of crossbreeding flowers other than the one that I'm doing, please let me know in the comments. And then I spent some time diving for sea creatures. This is actually a good way to earn bells, though it is rather time consuming to fill up your whole inventory with just sea creatures. While the museum is under construction, I'm always placing every fossil and critter that I've found by the museum so that I can donate them later. By doing so, I don't risk selling them. Every new creature is going to the museum. Day 4 is a rather productive day, and we get to craft the first bridge to connect some land on this island. I am very happy that this first bridge doesn't cost any bells. It would have been so awful trying to earn all the bells just to get this log bridge. I am probably just going to demolish it later in the game, so it's very nice not having to pay for it. Even though the bridge won't be finished until the next day, I always place the 3 slots for the upcoming villagers. And this time around I mapped them out with some shoveling to get them all lined up. In my previous video I spoke of the possible theme for this island, and I'm going for a dark, mystical, fairy, magical core type of island, but to be completely honest, I have actually no idea of how I am going to achieve that, or what a dark, magical, fairy core island even is or means. Here I am inserting some inspirations for what I have in mind. In this first picture there's a lot of pinks and a lovely magical feeling. The original creator of this is called Game with Vivian. I really like this, but what I am thinking is that I want it to be more darker colors, lots of black, purple and pink, of course. In this next picture, design made by Primrose Crossing, I totally fell in love with the use of the bamboo items and how it fits so well with the glowing moss items. And here we have another picture of what I really loved when looking for inspiration and what I imagine for my own island. This is created by Tokino Siruetto, and this is probably edited as well, but I think it looks so nice and really brings that magical vibe that I am thinking of. And with that done, I ended day 4. On day 5, I continued my daily tasks and I even got introduced to Harv. But I will be visiting his island on a later day, in a later video. After talking to Harv for a bit, I picked up some items scattered around the museum so I could donate them. I donated everything that I found to the museum, and after that I went and did some shopping at Nook's Cranny. While roaming around the island, I saw that Sprocket was home, so I took the opportunity to get my hands on a new DIY. I even paid a visit to Mabel for some new clothes. I was not too impressed with what she had in stock, but it's always fun to change up the look, and you need to buy from her so that she will open up the shop later. My favorite item that she had this time around is the impish horns. I think they look cute, and in this color, kind of discreet even. After that, I participated in Tom Nook's customization workshop. And this is something that I really like about this game. It's a nice aspect of crafting, and I can't wait to get my hands on some new items so that I can start decorating my island for real. We are jumping straight into day 6, which went past really fast. I met up with Red and he introduced me to his work in sales. And then I paid a visit to Rodeo. I was very happy to see that he was in the middle of crafting something. In these first days, weeks even, I usually start gathering whatever I can. I'm not too excited to decorate too much before having access to terraforming and paths. And playing the game without going to treasure islands is far more challenging than I first anticipated. The next villager to move to Nixoria is the preppy polar bear Tutu. She's a very cute villager, but I don't really know if I will be keeping her for too long, as she doesn't really match what I want this island to be. I won't be sad if she decides to leave. Agnes, on the other hand, I want to keep. So I gifted her an orange. I've heard that non-native fruit and accessed fossils are great gifts for increasing your friendship with the villagers. And in return, I got a throwback Gothic mirror, which is nice, but the color of it was bright red, so I don't really know what to do with it at the time. Afterwards, I tried to not get scammed by Red, but I know that the painting Girl with the Pearl Earring is genuine if the pearl is around, and it's fake if it's a star. Maybe every painting is genuine the first time around, but I don't want to risk getting a fake painting. This day came to an end when I got to pay off my first house loan, and that is very exciting. On day 7, I rearranged some furniture in my now expanded home, and I even got a bed from Luna in the mail, so I wanted to swap out the old camping cot. I went to visit the third villager, and it was Sandy. And the same goes for her as for Tutu. But in my opinion, Sandy is at least a better bird than Sprocket. After that, I met Sahara. It's nice to get more items, but I'm not a huge fan of the fact that you can't tell what rug or wallpaper you're going to get. And one thing that I wish for is to someday be able to put rugs outside. It would be so nice for decorating instead of having to use custom paths. To be honest, I would not have bought this rug if I saw the pattern at the beginning. But I guess that is a great trick to use when you are working in sales, instead of doing whatever Red is doing. Day 8 did not contain anything really, so I did not include that part in the video. But on day 9, Mabel wanted me to get her and her sister a spot for their shop. Finally, I'm getting somewhere in the process of making this my forever island. And just as I did with Nook's Granny, I placed the tailors onto the beach for the same purposes. And just in that moment, Tom Nook wanted to talk about the Kiki Slider project. I think it's so cute how big of a fan he is. When it comes to personality of the characters in the game, I think Tom brings a whole lot to the table. Last but not least, I paid for another bridge and connecting more land on this island. Going forward, I actually played a few days off camera, and if you want to see bits and pieces of me getting my first campsite villager, which is Julian by the way, and more, you should check out my Instagram and TikTok account. This is it for today's video. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And if you did and want to follow along on this journey of creating a forever island, please consider leaving a like and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video. Bye bye!